Ghost train of Oakville. One other ghost to exist in the county is not of a person but of a thing, the ghost train. If you go to the community of Oakville south of Russellville, you will find the Beecham Road, also known as the 4-mile stretch. Before it was paved, it was a railway for the Adairsville Dinky, the train that traveled between Russellville and Adairsville with a few stops in between. One eyewitness to the ghost train, whom we will call Angie for this retelling, first encountered the ghost light as a child. One evening around 10, she said, "I was in a group of teenagers and adults all coming from a moonlight party at the Oakville school. We were coming down the railroad tracks, laughing and talking close to the graveyard. Someone yelled, 'Look, why is the train running this late?' There, coming from the north, was a big white light heading towards us on the tracks. We began scampering, hoping to make a turn-off before the train reached us. The train light was quicker than we imagined. Before we knew it, it was upon us, and we leaped off the tracks before we could be run over. I rolled down the gully but was unharmed. I looked up to the tracks, unable to make out the train in the darkness. All I could see was a light that had turned into the old graveyard, rising over the trees and exploding as if it was a Roman candle. Sparks fell over tombstones. I told everyone about seeing the ghost train that next day at church, but no one believed me. Everyone who had been with me refused to confirm what I had seen. After a while, I thought I had dreamed it." Angie would encounter the ghost train again a few years later. Her and a boy, Tom, she had been courting, were walking along the train tracks. They weren't supposed to be together at night, but they had snuck out of their respective houses to see one another. They held hands walking down the tracks. When they reached the old cemetery, Tom remarked how he had seen the ghost train as well. "There's no such thing as a ghost train," Angie replied. On cue, a train light appeared from the north. Both of the lovers too petrified to move, or it might have been something else. Angie swears she tried to move off the tracks but couldn't get her legs to obey. She did manage to move enough to embrace Tom, who did his best to hold her as well. The light became bigger and brighter. When Angie could see nothing else, she cried out, "I believe in the ghost train." The light turned into the cemetery. It rose over the trees and exploded once again. The explosion was bigger than she remembered, and the sparks rained down on her and Tom. She could smell her hair burning, and Tom put out the smoke coming from her hair. "After that day, I told everyone about the ghost train," she said. She and Tom had married, and he worked at the depot until the Adairsville Dinky was discontinued, and he took a job at the post office. Tom passed away before her, but she swore on that day that he died that she heard a train whistle blow.